Twebaze. Mukama Katonda w'ekisa nadde tukwebaza Mukama olwa okusobozesa okubeera hano. Twebaza guno omukisa ate okujja mu maaso go. Mukama Katonda tugenda okutuuka mu puroguramu eno mu maaso go. Leka erinnya lyo si kintu kyala kyonna kiyite mu nze ate eri abalala abakristaayo. Tusabye nga tusaka waffe Yesu waffe. Amiina. Bassebo ne bannyabo, nze bampita Moses Nyonjo, nutritionist. Mbeebazizza nnyo obubaka buno obwa health okusinga ddala from a nutritional perspective. Tusinzira tubeesinga ku 3 principles. Buva okusinga ddala from the Bible. We believe that the Bible is a God's revelation to mankind. Through his word, we get to know his will. Tukkiriza nti nga Bayibuli yengeri Mukama gy'ayitamu okulaga ekigambo kye eri omuntu. Obubaka buno tububeesinga era from inspired writings. We believe that inspired writings that do not conflict with God's word are the one we base on mainly. We base our word mainly from the inspired writings of Ellen G. White. Ellen G. White tumulaba mukyalo ono nti yakwata bendera mu bubaka buno bwa Advent. Why Ellen G. White? Lwaki twesigama nnyo obubaka bwa Ellen G. White? We believe and trust that like any other prophets, nti Katonda yamukozesa oba yayita mu ye okuba nti atulaga give us the right guidance. Ayina ebitabo awandiise ebitabo ebisukka 45. Naye olaba otya nti ono prophet mutuufu, ono nabbi siwa bulimba. One of the basic gondi okulaba nabbi siwa bulimba mu nabbi mutuufu okulaba nti ebintu byayogerwako ebikadde n'ebinajja maaso kwe kulaba nti ebyo byayogedde biri tested, bizze bituukiridde ate bikuutana na Bible. Tulaba nti obubaka bw'omukyalo ono bwayogeddeko tebukuutana na Bible ate butuukiridde ate bulambulukufu bw'obanga obugerembedde. Therefore, tukozesa ebiwandiiko bye as a guideline. Ebyo ebituukiridde niyo byayogerako ebijja mu maaso. We also believe and trust in good science. We believe that the good science that which is well researched and harmonizes with the Bible and the inspired writings as our basic way of preaching. These 3 perspectives combined give far the most advanced teaching when it comes to health. Ebyo ebisatu byenjogeddeko, the Bible, inspired writings, and good science, betubesingako when it comes to good health. We wabeerawo ku ebyo ebisatu ekikuutana n'ejjala ebiseera ebisinga obubaka tebuba butuufu. These principles by far are the most guidelines kwe tubesingako okulaba omuntu obubaka bwaweereza butuufu oba bulimu okwesika. Why do I emphasize this? Nti now and again tulaba nti ezokubanga olina gy'olaze omuntu n'awa message, there are so many doctors, eri abaana presenting ebintu ku mikutu egy'enjawulo. Olaba otya nti obubaka bwa presentinga? How do you vet them? How do you vet it nti bubaka buno buli best kuba butuufu? Omulabe Sitaani mu ministry ya health agirumbye nnyo. Therefore, there are basic principles to follow, all guidelines zetuyina okulaba okuveeta kugamba nti kino kituufu, kino okusinziira ku kino na kino na kino na kino kituufu. There are so many kind of healing art. There are so many ways of practicing the healing art, but there's only one way heavens approves, through the laws of health. Bantu bangi bafuna okuwonyezebwa. Naye si buli kuwonyezebwa kuva eri Mukama. Eri okuwonyezebwa okuleetebwa nga kuva eri Sitaani, banga gulina amaanyi nga ga Sitaani. Tugenda kulambula kyenjogerako mu maaso. Kati nga tulaba abantu abagenda okuba nti bagenda ne basinza ne bakoola Katonda naye ate nga mpyo koola Katonda bye bakola bya mizimu. There are so many kinds kyensobola okunyonyolako nga bwe tujja okulaba mu maaso. By the way, this session is interactive. Bw'oba olina ky'otategedde osobola okwebuuza nga sinagenda mu maaso. Bassebo n'abooluganda njagadde njogere ku endwadde. Endwadde kye ki? How do we understand a disease? What's a disease? A disease is an effort of the body to free the system from conditions that result from violation of the laws of health. Endwadde kye kintu omubiri ekiva mu violating the laws of health. Omubiri gwe gugezaako kwetawuluza as a result of disobedience of the laws of health. Buli omubiri bwe gulaba nti ogukosebwa by disobeying the laws of health gukusindikira ekirwadde. Omuntu omayinza okubuuza nti endwadde embi? No, endwadde si mbi. Is one way to alert the body oba to alert you nti waliwo ekitagenda maaso. Obuzibu buva nti tolina kyokolawo. The body is always communicating to us. The question is always, are we listening? The multiple disobedience or violation of the laws of health, the continuous violation of these laws of health, mwe muva endwadde ez'olulango, endwadde ezitukwata n'olinga abaana n'abanga omubiri gunafuye. But the body itself, it was made in a way nti gulina mechanism okuba nti kusobola okulwanyisa endwadde yonna ne gugimegga bw'oba ng'amateeka gano gengenda okwogerako ogagoberedde. The continuous violation of these laws of health zireeta the breakdown of the body and eventually death is inevitable. Amateeka gano ge ki? Twogera ku mateeka nga water. Amazzi kintu kinene nnyo eri obulamu bw'omuntu. Amazzi kyetaago eri omubiri. Amazzi si ekintu kye tuyinza okugamba nti you take it at free oba nga bw'oyagadde. Buli muntu yenna agwanidde okutwala amazzi. Tekiriiko kugamba nti nakomye ejjo leero saagala, nedda. Kyetaago kya mubiri. Singa totwala amazzi, you will suffer consequences. Obaako endwadde ezikujjira simply because you don't take enough water. However, tetumala ganywa amazzi nga bw'oyagadde. There are principles, there are guidelines ng'egye tutwalamu amazzi. Size kwogera ku mazzi naye nja kutangazaamu nti bw'oba tonywedde mazzi in a particular way. For example, amazzi tunywa amazzi tuganywa nkuba ejja. Tetunywa amazzi bu nedda. Amazzi tuganywa mpola mpola. Gye tuyita oba nti a full mouthwash. Onywa amazzi mpola mpola n'ogamira. Amazzi bw'oganywa bugu. Amazzi ago bwe gatuuka mu lubuto tegagenda mu system, gayita mu buyisi. Amazzi bwe tuba tuganywa tufube nga tulaba nti gamixinga ne saliva. That way you aid digestion. Okuba nti bwe gatuuka mu lubuto gagenda through the blood stream ne gakozesa okyo. Bangi osobola okunywa amazzi ne gakuyita mu buyisi. For example, singa omwana omuto anywa amazzi n'obala n'anywa amazzi bugu between dakiika 7 ku 10 aba agenza ate okufuuyisa. Kitegeeza nti amazzi gano tegamuyambi wadde aganywedde. Therefore, tulabe nti bwe tuba nga this particular principle of water tuba tuganywedde, tuganywe mu ngeri gye tulina okuganywamu. Ngambye nti amazzi engeri gy'osobola okuganywamu kwe kuba nti bw'oba oganywedde gamuyunguze n'amalusu gasobole okuyamba mu lubuto. Gatuka mu lubuto gagenda bulungi. Ate tunywa amangi nnyo. Osobola okunywa amazzi buli dakiika 10 ng'onywa at least goteka mu kamwa atugambe nga emirundi ng'ena for a particular time. Yensonga lwaki omuntu bamuteeka ku chupa amazzi bamuteekamu gaba ga drop gagenda mu mpola mpola tebaganyiga mu bunyiza okunywa bunywi nedda gasobole okugenda mu busomo byo gasobole okumugasa. Topic teri ku mazzi kaneyongereyo sunlight omusana vitamin D. Vitamin D is equally vital. Omusana teguliko nti leero njagadde leero saagadde. These are basic principles. Kino kyetaago kya mubiri. Abo abatatwala kasana, it results in so many diseases. Kinafuya n'omubiri. It is one of the principles that guides our happiness as well. Bw'olaba nti winter bwejje olaba nti obusanyufu abantu ku maaso naki bugenda n'ebirala. It aids immunity. It boosts our immunity. It boosts our moral support mu mubiri n'ebirala. Fresh air. The fresh air is very vital ddala mu kulwanyisa endwadde. Okuba nti emisuwa gyaffe mirungi n'ebirala. Rest is very key. Kino ekintu tekitwala very lightly. Okuwummula. Buli kintu kirina ekiseera kyakyo. There is time to be awake, there is time to sleep, there is time for everything. But when it's time to rest, we should do so. Nkimanyi ebiseera ebisinga mbuuzibwa ekibuuzo nti ate omu abakola ekiro ate abakola buli kisolo kiri ku gundi kyatondebwa okuba nti kisobola okuwummula. But the basic principle here oba kyensangamu obuzibu mu kuwummula nti waliwo ate okuwummula obudde obuwummulwamu. The human body was designed okuba nti esobola okuwummula ng'obudde buwungedde. Bwe tuddayo bajjajjaffe obudde bwawengeranga, they try to prepare okuba nti bawummula ekiro. Enkoko bwe buwungeera tomala gagamba nti ate katozisiitira nti wayeze weebake. There is time for everything. They follow a biological clock. That biological clock is controlled by the sun. Omusana ne guwungeera ne gubula ne bukya ku makya ne gukomawo. Therefore, those who obey this particular law, they have a lot. Kubanga bw'obanga okola, our cells ziba zinafuwa. The only time to aid the healing okuddawo they multiply and come out back is during our sleep. But most importantly, between saawa 4 ez'akawungeezi ne saawa 8 abapaka ku saawa 10, that's when they process the process of healing okuba nti ziddawo. When you miss this one out several times, omubiri gunafuwa. Kubanga the cells, which is the controlling vehicle of everything, ziba zinafuye. The only way to repair them is during that time, and is when you're resting. Many miss out on this vital element. Okuba nti tukola kiro, tetulina budde, tuli mu firimu, tuli mu kukola kino, tukola kino. Tulaba nti abo abeebaka oba abasangibwa nga bawummudde between saawa 4 ne saawa 8, they have a better day. Their life is so smooth throughout the day than yeebaka for longer hours, ne yeebaka kuva ku saawa 10 paka ku saawa 10. Omuntu yeebase ku saawa 10 ez'okumakya paka saawa 10 ez'olweggulo the following day, aba yeebase for 12 hours. Naye omuntu eyeebase okuva ku saawa 4 paka saawa 8 asinga oyo yeebase longer time but in the wrong in wrong times. Tulaba nti it's very vital okwebaka oba to prepare our mind okwebaka mu kiseera ekituufu. That is how it's made. We are following the biological clock. All over the world, tugoberera musana. Sinti obudde bwange obw'okwebaka ngenda kwebaka saawa ku makya ku saawa 2 nebake ku saawa 8. Kituufu, there is an advice out there that mbiri gwina okuwummula, mwina okwebaka saawa 6 paka ku saawa 8. No. Also, it's essential okulaba nti ekiseera kye weebakiramu kiseera ki. And also the preparation ey'okwebaka. Abo who take time to prepare for sleep baganyulwamu nnyo mu kyokwebaka. For example, abalya emmere akawungeezi n'ayisayida hours 2 nga tanneebaka. Abantu abo baganyulwa nnyo mu kwebaka baba beebase. Kye tuyita a sound sleep. Than oli abantu alidde kiro, yagenza okwebaka, avudde ku firimu, yeebakidde ku firimu, yeebase with the background noise, okulogootana, okugubuutana, kuva ku bantu people don't prepare for this rest. Those who go to sleep, ne babanga basoose kusaba, they've given enough, basobodde kusaba, basobodde okunaaba, okola ki, they prepare for the sleep, they have a sound sleep. Okulogootana kuba kutono n'ebirala. Exercise. Equally, exercise is very vital. Exercise teliko nti baana bato bakyagenda mu exercising nedda. Exercise is for everybody, even babies, the youth, the youngsters, abakadde n'abalwadde. They should all practice this. They should have some form of exercising. But we know that okutambula is the best form of exercising for diseased bodies. Everybody should exercise. Tekiriko nti ono mukadde. Everybody, nobeera mulwadde. It aids healing on its own. Exercising, it's very vital. Kireeta okuba nti obwongo bwaffe si bwebafu. It awakens. Even understanding God's word. Those who exercise baprivatinga endwadde nnyingi nnyo. Temperance. Now, temperance, this very principle, it has been abused so many times. Okola ebintu in moderation. Now, the law of temperance says that that is good, we do in moderation. It should be moderately done. And that which is wrong, we shouldn't do at all. Tulaba now and again nti omuntu bw'agamba nti waayi ndi munene ngenda kukola ki, ngenda kwekoza, naaba nga talya mmere, naaba bw'ati wasalawo okudduka n'adduka nnyo, bw'asalawo n'akikola mu bungi, ekyo kikyamu. Ne bw'osalawo okunywa amazzi toganywa mangi nnyo genda kweteekako obuzibu. We do things in moderation. Nabakuba kusaba, we do it in moderation. Buli kintu kirina ekipimo. Nayo ekyo kye tutakkirizamu Bible kyegaana ekikyamu, we don't do it at all. Ndabye nti omuntu agamba nti omwenge bw'ogunywako n'otagunywa mu bungi kutamiira, it is good enough. No, that is not good, is not good at all. We don't even practice. Omwenge at any time guleeta obulabe eri omubiri. It compromises our mind and the way we glorify the name of the Lord. Enjaga. I want to talk about benefits of enjaga. Nero okuba nti nkyamu, we don't even address it. Tugenda naye eyo. Ekikyamu tutagana nakyo. Naye kye kirungi tukikola mu bipimo. Bible tugamba nti I'm the Lord that healeth thee. Tukira mu Exodus 15:26, that the Lord gave his word to ancient Israel that if they would cleave strictly to him and do his will, he would keep them from all diseases, such as the one he had brought upon them while they were in Egypt. But this promise from God came with the condition of obedience. We look at this from Council on that on page 26, paragraph 3. Tulaba nti Katonda yawonya. Naye okuwonya kwa Katonda kujja with obedience. We serve a living God and a God of order. Ebintu etamalaga abikola with the principles. It should be known that curse causeless shall not come. Statement eno tugiraba eva mu Proverbs 26 verse 2. A supporting one, page 94 from Ministry of Healing, that says diseases never come without a cause. Endwadde tezireetebwa, tezimala gajja, tezigwa bugwi, endwadde zibaako ekizireeta. There are so many ways of practicing the healing art, but there is only one way that heavens approves. Tukira mu selected messages, page 28. Nti ngeri nyingi nnyo ez'okujjanjaba, naye waliwo engeri emu eggulu erikkiriziganya nayo, engeri gye njogeddeko waggulu of obeying the laws of health. The cause of sickness must be ascertained. Unhealthful conditions should be changed and wrong habits corrected. Tukira Ministry of Healing, page 127, as a basic guideline when it comes to healing. Nti ekireeterwa endwadde, eba ekireeta endwadde, the cause of sickness should be ascertained before any other thing. Then the conditions, then unhealthful conditions should be changed and wrong habits corrected. In many times, we treat symptoms, but the root cause of the disease is never addressed. The illness may be relieved for a while, but unless the root cause is addressed and identified, complete recovery will never come. Now it's a deep statement. In many times, we treat symptoms, the actual cause is never addressed. Omuntu asobola okuba nga abobbebwa omutwe emisana, omutwe gumuluma. Now and again, someone reaches out for Panadol or any other painkillers. Chitufu, bw'atwala Panadol n'oba painkiller eno, omutwe gugenda. Neki kyabaakoze. What they've done is they've cut off the neurotransmitters to the brain. That warning, the symptom, that warning, ekulaga nti waliwo ekikyamu address the problem, oba ogigyeko. So omubiri oba okusazeko amasanyalaze akuwa this sort of alertness. You've cut off the neurotransmitters to the brain by introducing that painkiller. In a short while, owulira bulungi. Now, what if the actual cause of the headache weba nkuba nti weebase kiro? Omubiri ogututte mu mode okuba nti munafu throughout the day, yet singa you obey, noddayo nogera ne weebaka, omuntu okusobola gendayo immediately, but as you go into your sleep, slowly by slowly the headache goes away. Tera okuwa ekyokulabirako just to understand this sort of principle okuba nti we address the symptoms, we feel better, twagala nnyo ebintu ebyamangu. Those who practice the natural way of healing, they don't get the results instantly. Ebintu tebigwirawo ebiti nti owaye bwe mangendo n'omutwe agumbobba kola bwenti ne guvaawo nedda. Omubiri gwadjustinga mpola mpola. And that is the way it should be. Omubiri gukola bwe gutyo, tegukolerawo bintu bya mangu unless in emergency mode. There are emergencies is but on severity of a particular whatever injury. But in most cases abantu twagala nnyo ebintu ebya shortcut. It is far much better to prevent the disease than to know how to heal it if contracted. Ekivunula kiti bagamba batya oba olugendo lw'Oluganda nti okweganga, it is far okweganga than okumanya bw'okujjanyamu endwadde. It is far much better to prevent the disease than to know how to heal it. Twalaba mu COVID-19 nti abo abalindira advice okuva mu government, doctors abenjawulo on how to deal with COVID, they suffered severe consequences. Naye abo addressing this issue as because okuba nti they boosted their immunity, by boosting their immunity obadde babakwatanga they found that bond okuba nti they have that resistance towards the disease. It is far much better okuba nti it was far much better okuba nti omuntu boosted their immunity through the laws of health zenjogeddeko, through exercising, through taking the right whatever diet, nti obadde bune bwabakwatanga the body was prepared for an attack, to attack back. Banji nganze kamwa kogera, I was only told that naina COVID-19 naye bweyankwatira I didn't even notice that day was as usual. I may have succumbed to a few headaches here and there. Naye it was natural for me to want to nkola emirimu gyange gya bulijjo. The body was already prepared. So it is far much better to prevent the disease than to know how to heal it. And this same guideline we are given in, by LNG, the guideline by LNG wide that pandemics zijja kujja. But the best way, the principle on the guideline is not actually following the government guideline. The principle is in the health, is in the principles of health. Then you get the coagul. What's more interesting is, much as we get this warning, it was pandemics, but the healing, all the way we're going to address it is all the same. The guideline is the same. I'm just setting the foundation to understand how to address these things. LNG White on data to go back to page 25 and 26. That I saw that the reason why God did not hear the prayers of his servants for the sick amongst us more fully was that he could not be glorified in so doing while they are violating the laws of health. Nti awo nendaba ensonga lwaki Katonda tiyaddamu essaala z'abaddu be z'aba servants be lwakuba nti baalinga violating the laws of health. Kiki yali ategeeza mu Council on Diet and Food, page 25 ne page 26. This statement ekulaga nti bantu bangi mufe tuwaayo essaala nga tulwadde eri Katonda. Naye si buli ssaala Katonda agiddamu. Kankuwa ekyokulabirako. Abantu abo abanywa sigala ne bafuna TB. Singa afuna TB n'asaba nga asaba Katonda oba amuwonye awone, naye Katonda n'awulira essaala ze n'awulira n'addamu okusaba kwe n'awona, naye n'addayo mu kikolwa ekyamedde TB over and over and over, kyayogerako nti ekikolwa kino Katonda atuuka n'abanga essaala zino kyaziddamu olw'okuba nti you haven't visited the cause, the actual cause of tolina, there is no remorse, there is tolina mundayo will to change. The body, it's inevitable the body to break down. Bwe tuba tusaba Katonda, I'm talking about forgiveness. Bwe tuba tusaba okusonyiwa ebibi byaffe, behind our mind kyekitegeeza nti ngenda nkoze ekibi, I've sinned. We are also saying that tetugenda kuddamu kibi kino. That's what it means. Okusinza kwenjuwa tuwera kirambulula nti bw'osaba Katonda okuba nti akugye mu mbeera ey'obulwadde, you're also telling God nti ogenda kukyusa engeri zo. This statement bw'okutunuulira ku internet, bantu bangi bagikaanyeeko nti Katonda asobola lwaki tawonya buli omu ab'omugira essaala baziddamu. naye okusinziira ku NG White bw'annyonnyola statement eno, it's so deep ng'agamba nti okuggyako ng'olina enteekateeka egenda okukyusa engeri zo, then that will aid full healing and God rewards it by full recovery. Era mu gundi ye mu Ministry of Healing page 228, we see that for those who desire prayers for the restoration of for the health, it should be known to them. It should be known to them that the violation of God's laws, whether natural or spiritual, is a sin. And in order for them to receive his blessing, sin must be confessed and forsaken. Healing will not come if the Lord knows that the individual will not make changes to the cause that contributes to their illness. The body normally fights until eventually breaks down and death becomes inevitable. That was just the basic foundation to understanding what we deal with when it comes to diseases. The main topic today is food combination and food preparation. Ellen G. White atugamba clearly that the knowledge in regards to proper food combination and preparation is of a great worth, and receive it as wisdom from God. Nti ebikwatagana ne preparation and the combination of food, kino kifune nga aweerebbwa amagezi okuva ewa Katonda butereevu. In other words, kyageza okugamba nti there is a food combination. Waliwo engeri gye tugattamu emmere. There is a particular preparation. We don't just prepare food. You cannot make everybody be your cook. Tosobola kubanga olya ku kkubo now and again. Omulabe sitaani awayagalira ddala. Abantu preparing emmere namungodi chapati biki ku kkubo, they lack the basic understanding of this principle. Ellen G. White prioritizes kyeyinga talya buli wamu. One of her priorities mu bulamu bwe was her cook. Omuntu eyali amanyi how to prepare. Tugambibwa nti n'ebyomwoyo okubitegeera kiba kizibu bw'obanga emmere gy'olidde teri prepared well. However expensive your meal is, ne bw'ogenda mu restaurant, as long as it hasn't followed this basic preparation and combination, tegenda kugasa. However expensive, however hotel you may go to. However, about event tulina omukisa ogw'enjawulo that we've been given this message to preach to the rest of the world. We've been given this message, the principles. Nti bwe tunaagoberera ebintu bino tulifuna okwolesebwa ate amagezi gaffe galukola ki? Galiyongera n'okutegeera butegeezi bya Bible. Nali mbuuza ekibuuzo ennaku ezo nti abantu lwaki tulya emmere? One of the common reasons is because it's tasty, tube nga tufunye amaanyi. Now, according to Ellen G. White, tumala galya, tetulya mmere lwakuba nti it's tasty. We all know what tulikonsi. We are here for a purpose. One of the main purpose of human on the earth is to glorify and serve the Lord. Tulye mmere so that all our organs na buli kimwe kirimo kuba nti we can utilize to the full potential of our body abilities. Si mu kuweereza mulamu naye mu kuweereza Katonda. We are only here. The basic principle lwaki omuntu weetuli kwe kuweereza Katonda ku nsi. Therefore, tulya emmere okulaba nti our organs are continuously in good shape to serve the Lord. So unless we get that, tetusobola kugaining that, we do not follow the basics. Many people end up dying because wrong combination of food are not prepared well. Now, disturbance is created by improper combination of food like fermentation sets in, and their blood contamination, and the brain is confused. Now, when we do not prepare our food properly, Now, this leads to fermentation of the blood. In other words, omusaayi gwe tufuna okuva mu mmere eri contaminated oba embi, it makes our brain confused. When the brain is confused, the heavenly things are not readily discerned. Tesobola kutegeera ebiba bituweerebbwa oba okutegeera ekigambo kya Katonda. Therefore, we should not let anybody prepare our food. We should not just eat from anywhere. Our bodies are built from the food we eat. Every organ, every tissue is damaged, or when damaged, it should be repaired from the very food we eat. Therefore, those foods should be chosen that are required by the body to be repaired. We do not just eat just for the sake of it. We don't just eat simply want to eat. We only eat because the food is beneficial to the body. There are things we eat and enjoy, but have no nutritional value to the body. Those who don't allow anything to pass their lips will have it rough when it comes to the enemy. Now, the enemy knows that obuomi bw'emmere is a danger to humanity. But there are principles in place what we should follow for this temptation. Man's original diet consists of fruits and nuts. The man's original diet, tugiraba nti yaliya bibala, nuts and seeds. Genesis chapter 1 verse 29. It is only after sin that God introduced vegetables. I think it's in Genesis 3:18 that God introduced the herbs. The herbs were introduced so that they aid to repair it. That is the best reason why the vegetables were introduced. Genesis 3:18. And then you wait here to comment grains, nuts, fruits, and vegetables in proper combination contain all the elements of the nutrition. And when properly prepared, they give you the full physical and mental health. Nothing else. According to this statement alone, tulaba nti ebyo, the grains, nuts, fruits, and vegetables, when prepared well and combined well, they give you the full physical and mental health. Just as by the way, okubuuza, when did God introduce meat in man's diet, and what was the reason? Waliwo akimanyi? Nagambye this session is interactive. Nagadde kubuuza kumanya nti when was flesh introduced to man's diet? Waliwo akimanyi? Katonda emmere ennyama yagireeta ddi era nsonga ki gye yawa?
Abaana ba Isirayiri baasaba ennyama ne bajulira nti baalyanga ennyama mu Misiri gye baali bava, n'abaleetera obukweyozo oba bukwale.
Weebale nnyo ssebo. Not quite. Waliwo ayina ensonga endala. Tulaba nti, just to give you a proper history ey'ennyama, nti tulaba nti okuva ku Adamu paka ku Noah, mankind eatera nnyama. It is only after amataba that baatulisinga ennyama. But there was a particular reason according to Ellen G. White. Lwaki Katonda yaleeta okulya ennyama? In this period gyenjogerako okuva ku Adam okuva ku Adam paka ku mataba, abantu balinga bawangaala nnyo. Naye okuva ku mataba after Noah, abantu they struggled okuwangaala okusukka emyaka 15. Obutamala budde, Ellen G. White atugamba clearly nti God saw that man was growing in weirdness more and more and more. Man is God got concerned omuntu okuwangaala ennyo kyali kimuleeta okuba nti abeera mu kibi ebbanga ddene. God introduced the flesh, and when flesh was introduced, omuntu teyawangaala ddala, teyaddamu kuwangaala. Tulaba nti Noah abonna abaamuddirira tebaasukka myaka gisukka 12 nakati bwe guli. Waliwo abadde alina yansi ey'enjawulo oba temukiwulirangako? Kanjogere ku grains. Twagambye nti the basic any meal yetugambye nti that can prepare our mind mentally and physically. Twagambye there are grains, vegetables, nuts and fruits. Particularly nyagadde okwogera ku grains. Nga sinogera ku grains, we know the fruits, the basic principles of fruits. What's a fruit? A fruit is anything that has seeds from the inside, according to the Bible. Ekibala kye kirina obusigo from inside. That's a fruit. But now and again, the definition on the internet, the definition to many of a fruit differs from what's in the Bible. We talk about some science. A good science tells us the benefits of the fruits. Ebibala bya mugaso nnyo. Kubeera mu Eden eri omubiri. Those abatalya bibala, there is a penalty to pay. Ebibala bya mugaso nnyo eri omubiri. Naye ebibala kyebyo ebirina obusigo from inside. A pineapple erina obusigo. Ekintu ky'olaba ne kiri munda. Omuyembe gulina ensigo eri munda, etudde munda. However, there is a guideline. If you mix fruits and vegetables together, you've got the tug of war to the body. But mixing fruits and vegetables is chaos to the body. The question is, do we understand what a fruit is and what a vegetable is? Many bakola smoothies, they are mixing fruits and vegetables because they lack the basic knowledge of which one is which. But mixing a kale and apple. Kale properly is a vegetable. An apple is a fruit. When mixed together, it's chaos to the body. Even the blood resulting from it is bad blood. That causes a brain fog. The brain becomes confused. There are so many kinds of, especially of late, abantu beerabira nnyo. Concentration, lesson studies, they've gone. The food combination was wrong. Something has gone wrong. When the combination is wrong, you cannot yield good blood from it. The combination should be right. Smoothies. However, if you mix smoothie, they're just fruits. 3 kinds are just enough. You will get all the benefits of this. But when you mix fruits and vegetables, you're creating chaos to yourself. Kanzile ku grains. Grains, baby intunga wheat, rice, kasoli, legumes, nebula. So, but the grains over in sigo ya kasoli, it consists of 3 parts: the bran, endosperm, and the germ. Has anybody heard of the word gluten? Gluten is the middle part of the grain, or what we call endosperm. Kasoli, ekintu ekya wakati, is the gluten. All grains contain a gluten. There is no such a thing as gluten-free when it comes to cereals or grains. Particular wheat is gluten-free. It can't be gluten-free because the main part is the gluten itself. Now, the word gluten means, it's actually a Latin word to mean glue. Now, it cannot be glue-free if it's a grain. So, basically, the word gluten-free, when it comes to grains, it doesn't make sense because the main part itself is gluten. Now, people become gluten intolerant. Many people are familiar with the word being gluten intolerant. Now, the devil has deceived us so much on how to do when it comes to gluten things. Gluten is different grain affecting people differently. That part, yenjogerako. Now, the bran, yenjogedeko over, the bran is the cover over kasoli. The bran keka coating ako kungulu. Echomunda is the endosperm over gluten. Now, that is how it is. Now, when you're preparing grains, for you to be able to reach in the inner side, there is what they call a phytic acid. It's a bond on this. Now, that bond, the human body does not have the capacity to break it down. We don't have the capacity. The animals, zezina capacity kubanga zigoya emmere for long is breaking it down. Ruminants. Fenga abantu, the humans, we cannot break it down. Ellen G. White advises us to break this bond down and have access to the nutrients inside. The formula is slow continuous heating. The slow continuous heating will give you access to these nutrients. Now, those who prepare their grains, mungeri katugambe abafumba katugambe obuugi mungeri gye twandiyise nkubejja mangu nnyo ne tulya, we don't have access to these full nutrients. The body can only tolerate up to 300 milligrams of these phytic acids, or what you call phytes. Now, slow continuous heating. Today, tulabe engeri gye prepare abazadde baffe bapreparinga nga rice, omuceere ogwabanga ogwa box gwe bazangako ne bateekako essaawa katugambe 2 oba 3 ogenda waggulu, omuceere guno guba guwooma okusinga omuceere guno omusiike eddakiika 2. Why? Now, gy'okoma okusteaming emmere eno, grains, slowly you're breaking this phytase bond and it releases the carbohydrates rich of this fullness and sweetness. It just explodes with this sweetness. You have access to these nutrients from the inside. Otherwise, bw'ogufumba mangu your sweetness is based on the recipes George wadde bino ebibuto biki to create that sweetness. Naye bw'obanga ofumbye omuceere guno mu ngeri gye njogeddeko slow continuously for several hours. The word we use is several. The word several kitegeeza ki? The word several from the English dictionary, it means more than two but not many. From any dictionary, the word several gyakozesa Ellen G. White yali mukyala mu America nga yogera olulimi lwa Luzungu. She uses the word when it comes to grains, prepare them or cook them for several hours. Kawunga. Tugenda kawunga mangu dakiika 10 ba kaluku mmere kaluku sowaani. Now akawunga ako, you don't have access to the inner nutrients because the bond the phytic acid is not broken down. Akawunga akazzeeko akabobeze kakuwa access to these nutrients. Therefore isonga ky'akawunga akabobeze kawooma and it's of a great benefit to the body. Those who continuously take grains in this form have severe consequences. Abantu abalya ebintu bino, we're talking about the wrong preparation of the grains. What they've done is they've accumulated over time the phytic acid. Now, if you have excessive phytic acid in your blood, okuba nti olina akantu kano kenjogeddeko, either okagyemu otsi oba okagyewa, you've accumulated too much phytic acid in your blood. Now, these are the consequences. Bw'obanga olina too much phytic acid in your blood. Now, sorry. Bw'obanga olina too much phytic acid in your blood as a result of okuba nti you've accumulated too much of this, which is a phosphorus, you become sensitive. You gain that sensitivity in your stomach. There's that natural gas okuba nti abantu bafuumuka all of the time. It is as a result of the poor combination. The preparation is wrong. The wrong preparation leads to all sorts of elements. The stomach becomes sensitive. Gluten, you become gluten sensitive, gluten sensitivity. There's a wrong message out there. Kubanti abantu amba doctor babajja ku cereals, babajja ku oats, babajja ku goni. Now, the message is wrong because they do not have the basic knowledge of how to prepare them. Abantu zibayisa bubi eri abantu abalwala by just taking okuba nti alidde oats signs ogenda ku kitanda. They lack the basic knowledge. Ellen G. White gyatuwoninzeko. Now, if you don't prepare these grains properly, you become deficient in the followings. You have no access to calcium. You don't have access to copper, iron, zinc. Olabye nga abavubuka abato bakwatibwa envi. Mwana muto alina envi, myaka 21. Akwatibwa envi. These are particular one of the consequences. Now, the phytic acid, if it's excess in your blood, it inhibits, it hinders the enzymes that are needed to digest your food. Pepsin. There's a pepsin in the stomach. There's an enzyme called pepsin in the stomach. It is responsible for the breaking down of proteins. Now, if you have excessive phytic acid, the pepsin is affected. Therefore, when you eat a good amount of proteins, it's not absorbed in the bloodstream. tulaba abaana bato mwana atandise konziyo oyita konziba, they are malnourished, tebalabika bulungi. You give them all the proper food, but it's because it's been prepared wrongly, they don't have enough proteins. And excessive phytic acids in the body affect any nutrients that require proteins for their absorption, like vitamin B12. For you to have vitamin B12, you need to have proteins. If you don't have access to proteins, then it's inevitable for you to have your vitamin B12 deficient. Can vegans fall sick? Yes, vegans can fall sick if they don't follow these channels, if they don't prepare their food so well. Mchala sango mchala omu kunyonyi nambuza, bali watu gaimbe ni mbaga na I'm vegan da Syria nyama sikula. I'm also vegan, but how come for me I'm sick? Watch it well. When someone comes and tells you that I'm vegan, what they actually telling you that my organs are clean. Mchala no yalina mini strokes all the time. Ngangamanti afuna mini strokes even during her sleep. But to cut the long story short, after taking her through how to prepare her oats and everything, the mini strokes are gone. That's inabzivu. Amylase, the enzyme required for the breaking down of starch into the sugar, is not absorbed if you have excessive phytic acid. So we see the effects of not preparing our foods right. Trypsin, the enzyme which is in breaking down in small intestines, the proteins, is not absorbed. And when trypsin, the enzyme responsible for this in a small intestine, is not absorbed, we have an autoimmune disorder. An autoimmune disease is born. What is autoimmunity? Autoimmunity is when the brain is confused and sends a disease. It attacks your own self. Abantu baina rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, Alzheimer. The brain is confused. When we don't prepare our food well, it is inevitable for these things not to happen. Nuts are very good for the body, but excessive nuts or nuts not prepared well, we suffer the consequences. It is vital for this particular topic that the Adventists understand it. It is not rocket science how to prepare our food. We prepare our food the right way. We combine it well. What we are doing is we are preventing so many diseases. This knowledge is not out there. I've attended so many health seminars. The knowledge we get from Ellen G. White is not the rest of the world. It provides the basic principles on how to address it. The body is always talking to us. The question is always, are we listening? Mama Miyangamba auntie. Mr. Nyonjo, as soon as I take milk, my system is so well that when I take milk, the next 10 minutes I'm running off to the toilet. It's so effective. Now, the body doesn't work that way. What the body is telling him is, what you're taking is poison, dump it. Now and again, we see that Bubango Genze, Mumikolo, Ejisinga, Dala, Mumikolo, Yetuigendako, Abantu Lumalo Kulia, bang, there is a line to the toilets. We all know that digestion takes 4 hours for the food to be digested. Now, if you've taken your food and immediately upon finishing, there is a requirement for the toilet. Why is that? What the body is telling you either the food was wrongly prepared or wrongly combined, and the body has perceived it as poison and is telling you, dump it. So many do this now and again. The continuous behavior of this kind leads the body to break down, and this is inevitable. Bw'okola bino ebintu continuously, omubiri gwetamwa. Did you know that watermelon is a single item gy'otalina kulya na mmere endala? Naye ogenda ku so many whatevers ku mikolo, omuntu asavinga emmere ye bulungi nnyo, naddira watermelon namuteka kungulu. Now, watermelon has the properties are digesting very fast. Ate era avunda mangu. Ate kyonna kyakwatako kyonna kyonooneka. That is its nature. That's its properties. Therefore, natwala watermelon, tumutwala at least half an hour before the main meal. Ate era bw'oba osazeewo okulya watermelon, so mulya yeka as a full meal. The question is, ambabuuza nti naye takkusa, kituufu takkusa, naye osobola okulya nga mungiko. Watermelon within 30 to 1 hour aba ali digested, fully digested. Now, bw'omutwala n'emmere endala, you're doing yourself a disservice. Therefore, the combination is wrong. That's why we emphasize the preparation and the combination. Once you get it right, it is actually a remedy for so many diseases. Ojanjabibwa in many diseases by through this sort of actions. Obudde bugenze. But let me take you through. Have you heard of the word a period diet? Period diet? Have anyone heard of a period diet? I've seen so many doctors, especially in the US, advising about a period diet. Let me tell you about the period diet. A diet without grains. So many people, they've been affected by the grains. And so many doctors are just advising people to take a period diet, a diet without grains. But remember in our notes, the basic diet from the basic diet from the beginning, it was a diet of grains, nuts, and fruits. Now, bweba kujjako diet ya grains because of the effects they created. What are they saying? They're actually taking away your life. It is because they are lacking the basic understanding on how to deal with grains. When you prepare this right, even the diseases accruing from them, you've got rid of them. Phytic acid. It is an anti-nutrient. What it means is that it prohibits the digestion of other nutrients. But when taken in the right order, when done well, it is actually an antioxidant. An antioxidant is those elements that actually help in preventing cancer. Don't get me wrong. It's only an antioxidant if it's taken in the right measurements. The body will say that it can only accommodate, it can only tolerate up to 400 milligrams. Yesonga lwaki omuntu bw'abanga alya ebinyeebwa ebibisi, a handful is just enough. The body can tolerate it. The trouble is, omuntu bw'alya ebinyeebwa continuously nga bibisi, it becomes a danger to himself. We should understand the basic principles. Now, one of other ways to prepare these grains, for example, oats, you can cook it continuously like I do. Bwemba ngenda okufumba oats, I use a slow cooker. Bwemangenda okwebaka muteekamu ne mujjamu ku makya. In the morning, it is so tasty. It is bursting with carbohydrates molecules that are rich in sweetness. Setaaga na kwetaaga sukali because I've broken down the bond. Those who toast it, they're also doing well. Osobola okudira oats n'omutoastinga aba n'omuteeka mu oven. You set it at a high temperature, maybe 200 for the first 20 minutes, and then to the lowest setting. And in the morning, bw'omujjamu osobola okukola nga bw'okola bulijjo okuba nti omukola nga porridge mangu nnyo mufumo katono nnyo n'onywa. Because you've already treated it. You've already broken down the bond. Olw'obudde munzikirize malirize wano, waba alina ekibuuzo mubuuze basebo ne bannyabo.
Oyansiza nnyo ssebo omusawo, weebale, ebigambo by'oyogedde byonna bikulu nnyo. Ebimu bibadde bipya ddala mu matu gange, naye nneebaza Mukama olwa programu eno sobodde okubiyiga. Tugenda kukkirizayo ekibuuzo kimu ekiri urgent kubanga obudde bw'oko okuba essaawa tuziyisizaamu. Bwe kibaayo, bwe kiba teri ekitegeeza tuyize bulungi, kijja kuba kirungi. Waliwo alinayo ekibuuzo nga kikwokya nnyo.
Ssebo nze nkirina ssebo. Dr. Nyonjo weebale nnyo obubaka obulungi ennyo bwe butyo. Kye njagala okubuuza oyogedde ku bibala ebirina seeds munda. Kaakati ebintu bye tusanga mu supermarket eriyo seedless oranges, seedless grapes, seedless apples. Ebyo obyogerako ki ssebo?
Weebale nnyo ssebo, kansooke ntangaazeemu na kye saayogeddeko. Era enjigwa ekyo yali agamba kino, there was exceptions. There was exception when it comes to combination of fruits and vegetables. The exception JAWA was lemon, olives, and lettuce. Now, you can mix your lemon, which is a fruit, and a vegetable. That combination is okay. You can mix olives with any other vegetable. Also, we'll okulya lettuce with a fruit. These were the only exceptions given. In case of any others, it's a no-go. Now, okudde ku kibuuzo ky'obuuziza, ayogera ku seedless. Now, the definition of a fruit, kwe kuba nti erina obusigo munda. What happens bw'ogenda n'ofuna a pineapple nga terina busigo munda? Is it still a fruit? Now, that has been tampered with. We have to be very careful with the GMOs, genetically modified organs. Genetically modified organs, they change the shape and the genes of the fruit. It's no longer a fruit itself. And the Adventist teaching, or our principal teaching, is get away as far as much possible from them. They do not have the same biological structure and bonding. Muzo. Omuntu wagamba nti genda ofune vitamin C okuva mu muchungwa. It means by taking a GMO, that element gye tunoonya mu vitamin C mu muchungwa okyo, it has been tampered with, and whatever you'll get from it is not vitamin C. It is something else. We should refrain. Well, we should not go anywhere close to GMOs. GMOs are a problem. GMOs affect us. GMOs affect our thinking. They affect us tremendously. Omulabe sitaani, GMO bw'olaba n'abamuleeta na buli kimu, it is a devil's advocate. Tulaba GMOs, how they've been affecting us. They've affected everybody. And GMO foods, they are the cheapest on the market. Ennaku ziyita ngenda okugula amenvu mu supermarket ya UK. Nga the price of one organic banana is £1.20. The price of a GMO banana nga bunch yonna ya 60p. Bunch ngina amenvu ina amenvu 12. It is half of the price eyogula erienvu erimo. So how do we address this? Amuntu wanzo gamba paundi emu nyimfalamu kino. I think let's through prayers tusabe Katonda so kutuwa amagezi nwe kuba nti tu improving ambienfuna yafu okulaba ntulya emmere entuufu. But GMOs are affecting us. Most cancers are caused by the GMOs. So let's be very careful. All ekintu ekibanga kiri seedless kiba kivudde mu butonde bwakyo. It no longer has the same genetic components that tukirabiramu. It has changed even its definition. Katonda yakikola kuba bwatyo. Therefore, when it comes to GMOs, they are a danger to ourselves. N'obubaka obwo munzikirize nkomye wano. Mwebale nnyo basebo ne banyabo.
Amina, tweyanze nnyo tweyanzege.